What's up everyone and welcome to the club. In today's video we're creating a portrait illustration of Freddy Krueger from A Nightmare on Elm Street. For today's lesson I'll be sketching with this mechanical pencil with a 2B graphite stick, but you're welcome to use whatever type of pencil you like. Let's start by breaking down the basic shape of our drawing with some guidelines. We're going to start at the very top. We're going to sketch a line coming down the center of our page. And we don't want to go too dark because we'll eventually want to erase this out. So we'll just come straight down. Let's move back to the center and draw another straight line going across from left to right. Now we're going to use these lines to help us create a circle in the center of the page to define the size of the head. So from this center point, let's step up. It's going to mark off the top of our circle. Take that same distance down towards the bottom. Now I want to repeat that same process across this horizontal line. So taking this distance over towards the left and right side. Now I want to connect the center point with a curve to create our circle. So let's start with the top left. We're going to stay loose. We don't want to get too detailed with the circle. We just want to get the right size and placement in the center of our page. And we just go back and just smooth this out. Let's add another guide along the side of our circle. I'm just going to extend this down towards the bottom, then all the way up towards the top. I'm going to add one more line across the bottom of our circle. Now with all my portrait illustrations, I like to try to capture the right proportions before we get into the detail and shading. So let's start with that center line. We're just going to lift the eyes up in the middle. So we're going to connect these 2 points with a curve. This will be for the bottom edge of the eyes. Just going to raise that up towards the middle line and then bend that back down towards the right. So this will be the curve of the head. Now you want to create that gap in between the eyes. So from that center line, let's move over towards the left. Draw a straight line going up. Extend that all the way down towards the bottom of our circle. And then let's take that same distance towards the right side. Now I want to replicate the same curve along the top of the eye. So up here, I'm just going to curve this up and then back down. And then from here we start adding some shape. Let's start with the inside edge of the eyes. I'm just going to curve this up and then out towards that top line. And we'll curl up the brow. Taking this curve, just bend this up and in towards that center line. Let's round out the eye and just pull that down towards the side. Now let's start adding a little bit of detail along the inside. We're going to start with the bottom of the eyelid. I'm just going to start with a curve coming down and up. Just round out the inside, going up and then out towards the top of the eyelid. Just going to round this out and then come down along the side. Now our character's head is lifted up, but we want to have the eyes looking down towards us. So along the bottom, let's sketch out a circle for the iris. Just going to tuck the bottom edge underneath. Do the same thing on the right. I'll add a small circle in the center for the pupil. Now from this point, we're going to sketch a large oval for the nose. We go all the way down towards the bottom, and then back up. From the side, let's flare the nostril, going up and then out. Round out the side, and just pull that back in towards that center oval. Now on the side of the nostrils, there's a fold that comes down across the cheeks. So let's start with the left. Just going to bend this out and then come down towards the bottom of our circle. Now directly underneath the tip of the nose, we're going to step down, curve down and up from the top edge of the mouth. From the side, let's step in, bend the mouth, going out and then down. And we're just going to round out the bottom of the mouth. Now halfway down the mouth, let's draw a straight line going across the bottom edge of the teeth. Now from here we start adding some shape to the head. Let's start from the bottom of the eye line. We're just going to curve the cheekbones, coming in and then down. And this will help us with the wrinkles in a later stage. And then from the side, angle the head going up and in towards the top of our circle. Now from the side of the cheeks, we're just going to angle that jawline coming down and then in towards the bottom line. And just going to round out the chin, coming down and then up. Now with the head tilted up, the ears are going to fall below that center line. So let's start on the left. We're going to roughly sketch in a half circle, going around and then in towards the side of the head. Now right where the ears meet the side of the jaw, draw two straight lines coming down the side of the neck. And then underneath the chin, add a curve for the collar. And I'm just going to slope down the shoulders, coming down and out. Now that we've blocked out the face, let's layer the hat brim in behind. We're going to start from the side of the neck, right here. It's going to bend the hat brim going around and then up. Continue that over on the right. Round out the side. I just want to pull that in just up above our circle. Just pulling that in, go around the right side. Now from these 2 points, we want to step in, angle the top of the hat going up and in towards the top. And I'm just going to round out the center. Now this drawing wouldn't be complete without exposing the hand. So let's start by blocking the basic shape. We're going to start on the outside of the ear. Start with a straight line coming all the way down towards the bottom. Now you want to curl the fingers across the chin. So right here, it's going to angle this up. And then from the ends, angle this down and in. Let's flatten off the inside. And then from these 2 points, come straight down towards the bottom of our page. Now with the second finger, we're going to come up and across just underneath the lip. So we're going to go up with a straight line and go across the chin, going all the way across towards the right. Let's move over and add the third finger. We're just going to angle this up towards the chin and come down in an angle. Now the last finger from this point, go up, go straight across. Now that we have a rough sketch, I want to go back and erase some of these guidelines so that we can see our drawing a little bit better. Now that we can clearly see our drawing, we can go back and modify the proportions if we need to, but I'm pretty happy with the balance, so I'm going to move to the tip of my pencil and add a second level of detail. Let's start around the eyes and add some folds. Just going to add some wrinkles. Now we don't need to get too detailed with this. I'm going to try to stay loose as I can. Just adding some folds in between the brow, going up towards the hat. I'm just going to bring that hat brim down across the head. And then from here, just working our way around the eyes. I'm just adding some scar lines going across the face. And this is just to add some guides. When we come back in, add some more detail after. I'm going to go in and just separate the teeth with the gum line, rounding out the tops. Just adding some lines coming down from the chin. I'm just going to stretch that skin across the cheekbones. Now I'm going to go back and add a little bit more shape to the ears. I'm just going to mangle this ear up a little bit more. Now the area around the chin is going to get covered up by the hand, so I'm not going to get too detailed with that. Add some scars. And now we can go in and start using that basic shape to add some more detail and form to the hand. So we start with the front and work our way back. Just layering in those details. So I'm just going to add some folds across that leather, across the palm, and just sort of filling in the gaps with the details. Add those rivets. And we'll add that claw on the end. just going to tear up the edge of the collar. Work our way down the side. And then a little bit more shape to the neck. Adding some wrinkles inside. Go back and clean this up a little bit more. Now once we're happy with our rough sketch, we're going to move in with the tip of our pencil and refine the edges and add a little bit more detail. Let's start with the eyes. I'm just going to continue to add some more detail and folds. And then from the eyes, we're just going to work our way out. And just work our way around the eyes. Now I want to create a little bit of highlight on the top right side. So I'm going to sketch out a small circle very lightly. And it'll darken up the center of the pupil going in behind that highlight. And it will lightly shade in the inside of the iris, again going around the highlight. And I'm just going to darken up the areas around the eye just to push them in towards the sockets. And moving down, adding some more shape to the nose. And we're just stretching the skin around the side of the nose and going around the mouth. Just pulling some tension lines going around. And then stretching that skin around the mouth. So you can see we're just pulling this up underneath the nose. Let's trace out the teeth. Lightly shading the gums. And then we'll darken up the inside of the mouth. And now we're going to go back and just add some more detail to the hands. Again, starting from the front and working our way back. Now with the hand in place, we're going to go back in and just finish off the head. Now as we get near the outside edges of our drawing, I just want to fade this out. I don't want to get too detailed with the outside area. Just kind of vanish out. I just kind of like to have those areas sort of recede into the outside. And I like to put most of the emphasis towards the face area. And once we finish tracing out our contours, it's time to add the shading. So I'm just going to darken up the top area of the eyes, because the brow is going to sit on top and cast that shadow. And you want to imagine that the light's coming from the top of our head, coming down and across. So the shadows are going to sit along the bottom side, the highlights being along the top. And then the nose is going to cast a shadow on top of the lip area. Just going to pull that down and over towards the right. Just going to darken up the inside of the ears. And then the hat's going to cast a shadow on top of the forehead. So we'll darken up the top and then fade that down. Now I'm going to stay with the side edge of my pencil and just add some deep crevices inside the face. So just pushing some of these wrinkles and folds into some shadow. So just taking each of these lines and just building them up along the outside. Just gonna add a few more on the inside. I'm just going to add some spots inside the nose area. And going back to the tip of our pencil, I'm just going to add some fine lines and wrinkles. So just enhancing those burn marks. And I want to darken up the chin area, like the hand is casting a shadow on top of the neck, and I'm just going to blend that down. Continue to add those deep shadows along the bottom. Just going to add some cracks and wrinkles inside the leather. And I'll just darken up the body in behind the hand, just to create a little bit of contrast. Let's add some reflectivity to the metal. I'm going to roughly darken up the underside of the hat brim, again to create that contrast with the rest of the head. I'm going to do the same thing with the top of the hat, but I'm just going to recede the shadow into a highlight on the left side. Just going a little bit lighter on the left. I'm going to go back and just refine our contrast. So going a little bit darker around the neck area. I'm also pulling the cheekbones into the shadows, so it's curving down. So the shadows will sit along the bottom and just fade up towards the cheeks. I'm going to wrap things up with a little bit more detail and shading, and always be sure to sign my artwork, and that's pretty much it. There's a sketch illustration of Freddy Krueger from A Nightmare on Elm Street. I hope you enjoyed today's lesson. If you did, please make sure you subscribe because I'm posting new lessons every single week. You can also drop your requests in the comments below. I want to thank you for watching, and I'll see you again soon.